Honestly, I believe that Trump's presidency is going to be studied for years to come after he's out of the office. I think that his presidency is going to be studied for years to come out after he's outside of the office. Real talk, I do. It's crazy the level of insight and information that comes along with this, and the amount of lessons that come along. Like, I'll give you another one. What people don't know about the UK is that they're a very heavy, union heavy influenced industry. And the fact that they had a lot of other competitors dumping cheap steel over there, our partnership with them and them also being a consumer nation, not as big as the United States of America, is you got to remember that we also have one of the biggest markets for their luxury cars. You talk about BMW, talk about Rolls Royce, you talk about major Mercedes Benz, you talk about all of these different car manufacturers that need the United States of America in order to survive, while at the same time we are open to them supplying the planes or supplying the engines to the planes that we ultimately manufacture. I'll show you something else. A lot of people don't even know. I pay attention to different details. And it's funny because it kind of reminds me of like a limitless pill, because you see things in your life, or you see different pictures, or you see different symbolism, but it doesn't come back to you until it's actually relevant. But there's been certain pictures or things that I would see, and I was thinking to myself, man, and then I would just move on with my life, and it wasn't a big deal. I remember seeing Trump with a picture. It was a picture of Trump, or it was him next to his plane or something like that, and it said Rolls Royce on it. And it reminded me to do some research in a Rolls Royce, and I did do some research in a Rolls Royce, because Rolls Royce wasn't just a manufacturer of cars, they were a manufacturer of plane engines. And so to see that symbolism of Trump standing next to a Rolls Royce sign on a plane, let me see if I can find that picture. Yep, this was it was on his plane. His plane that he has a Rolls Royce symbol on it, and I'm gonna show it to you guys really quickly. And I always remembered it. I never forgot about it. I always remembered it, that his actual plane had the symbol of the Rolls Royce logo, because that's what the actual engines for his Trump plane was made with. And when I seen it, it always resonated in my mind. It always resonated in my mind. And so when I seen that, and then when I just seen actually him announce that and then say, well, they're going to be supplying the engines that ultimately, and then buying the planes and all of that stuff, it always resonated with me. It always resonated with me. So anyways, neither here nor there. These are the type of things that I think about all the time, and that makes sense for me. So make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Hopefully you guys are learning something. Hopefully you understand the importance of why we became conservative, why we vote for Republicans, why we ultimately look at America as a business, because America is a business. America is a business. It's a business first. For whatever reason, y'all think that America exists to provide you with something. No. America exists to open up the opportunity for you to provide for yourself. That is the biggest difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats think that the rich people and people that pay their tax dollars exist to serve them. That's not true. Our government is supposed to be smaller, nimble. It's supposed to be easy to work with, and it's supposed to create the opportunity for you to serve yourself. That is the difference. The biggest difference between Republicans and Democrats is not the rich, it's not the poor, it's a matter of choice and freedom. It's choice and freedom. It's censorship and not being censored. Democrats believe that the government exists to make sure that we continue to tax people so that we can take advantage of it and give social services and give people all of this leg up and forgive student loans and all of this stuff. Republicans believe that we need to allow for people to have the freedom to keep more of their money for themselves and to determine their own path and have the freedom to do what they want to do when they want to do and not be censored. That is the biggest difference between Democrats and Republicans. Has nothing to do with liberal, has nothing to do with conservative, has nothing to do with social services, has nothing to do with any of this stuff. Yes, I have seen Limitless. It's one of my favorite movies. If anybody asks you, what is the difference between a Republican and a Democrat? That is it. Democrats exist to make sure that they take from the government and make it bigger because they want the government to control what happens, and they then leverage the government in order to censor other people. Republicans believe in less, smaller government, less bureaucracy, giving people the freedom to do what they want to do, no censorship, and giving you the opportunity to make yourself a millionaire. It shouldn't be on the government's job to give you a handout. That is the biggest difference between Republicans and Democrats. All right. Yes. Socialism versus capitalism. Socialism versus capitalism. That is the biggest difference. Has nothing to do with black, has nothing to do with white, has nothing to do with the 92%, has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. None of that. That is the biggest difference in a nutshell. And that's the part that they don't teach us in school. That's the thing that they don't teach us when we're younger. That's the thing that they don't teach us in church. That's the thing that they don't teach us in the black community. I don't need the government to give me anything. I just want the government to get the fuck out of my way so I can do what I want to do and run a bag up. I could take care of myself. I can make adjustments in the marketplace. I can make sure that I go and get educated. I can make sure that I create my own business. I want to work as many hours as I want to work. I don't need nobody slowing me down from doing what I want to do and taking all my money and giving it to people that don't even deserve it. That's the biggest thing. That's why I'm a Republican. Nothing to do with black, nothing to do with white, nothing to do with all of that extra stuff. I don't care about what other people do with their lives. I care about whether or not they're putting their stuff on me, because I don't want to subject myself to which. If you want to go and bump coochies, if you want to go and rub Harry's, that's on you. But don't put it in our schools. Don't force women. Don't put it in women's sports. Don't come in the bathrooms. Do what you want to do, but do it in your house, but don't start putting it on everybody else. That's A. And B, stop taking all of my money and stop trying to prevent me from doing what I want to do and let people say what they want to say. That's 2. That's it. It's very much that simple. Don't care about all of this other stuff. They want to keep making it about race. They want to start doing all of this stuff. That's not what it's about. People have completely missed the plot. And that's how it's so easy to market to you. Hey, you need to become Democrat. Then next thing you know, you advocating for deleting babies, and that ain't even what you believe. You've been raised in a church and you ain't never believed in abortion, but all of a sudden you standing for it. All of a sudden you stand for immigrants coming over into this country illegally. What you talking about? That wasn't something that we was divided about Democrats and Republicans. Democrats and Republicans believed in making sure that we kept our borders safe. That wasn't something that we was divided. Next thing you know, you're on the wrong side of the fence with that. Next thing you know, you advocating for sassy people to be in women's sports and bathrooms. Like, bro, that ain't even you. Ain't got nothing to do with being a Republican or a Democrat. But they made it a part of the Democrat agenda because they had nothing else to stand on. And there was no other way that they can market to a completely new demographic that made sure that they was entirely tying themselves to a party the same way that black people did. That's how they got gay people to tie themselves to a party. That's how they got liberals to tie themselves to a party. That's how they got people that didn't even stand for what you believed in to tie themselves to a party. And now you are part of what they stand for instead of standing on the things that's actually best for you, your family, and this country. That's the truth. That's why you on the side of unrighteousness. That's why you believe in deleting babies. That's why you out here with a single baby daddy and talking junk and you a step crash dummy. That's why I keep telling y'all, get off the plantation. Get off the plantation. Kelly Reed, look, this dude is a CIA collaborator plan. That's what they say when they can't substantiate your argument. It's what people say when they can't come up with any other thing. Oh man, he must be a plan. He must be this. He must be that. Listen, let me tell you, what a plant tell you to suck they, let me be quiet. Let me stop. I prayed this morning, so I'm not going to go there.